Hello, team. Hi, everybody. Here is your TGIF Friday poll question at Smerconish.com. Russia v. Ukraine war. Is it the beginning of the end or the end of the beginning? Where are we in this? I'll address that in just a moment. First, thanks to my friends at Bet Parks and Play Gun Lake. Summertime, the beach, the boat, the lake, the boardwalk. Enjoy casino action and sports betting wherever you are all summer long with the Bet Parks app and the Play Gun Lake app. Baseball, tennis, by the way, that tournament over in the UK, are you following that? That's exciting. World soccer matches plus the Pro Golf Tour as well. Live betting is better on the BetParks app and the Play Gun Lake app. Bet individual player performance and game props as well. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always a way for you to win with BetParks and Play Gun Lake, the only apps that I ever use and recommend to bet on sports and play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. Check out the new games on the BetParks app. Huff and More Puff, Mega Fire Blaze, Dwarves and Goblins, the Flintstones, plus Money Horse. Have you never checked those out? Look at them. They're sophisticated and they're fun. Blackjack, Baccarat, hot online slots. They've got it all. Go to betparks.com or playgunlake.com and download the apps right now. Enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino right in your fingertips. You can be on a lounge chair, be at the beach this weekend. Get in on the action. You've just got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or Maryland for the Bet Parks app, and 21 and in Michigan for Play Gun Lake. You love to play, you play to win, you bet Bet Parks and bet Play Gun Lake. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Thank you to the 33,693 who voted at Smerconish.com on the Thursday poll question yesterday. I have to say, we've been so on top of the news, including today, with our poll questions. And I find not only are we on top of the news, we're ahead of the curve. And this is a great example because yesterday's poll question, should every child born in the U.S. receive a one-time $1,000 government contribution into a tax-free investment fund? 72% and change said no. But this story is one that I covered mid-June with Derek Hamilton from the New School, The Economist, who came up with this idea 25 years ago. And we finally made it a poll question yesterday. He was also my guest on CNN last Saturday. And today I see lots of stories in the media about these Trump bonds. It's like everybody else is now just waking up to the idea of, hey, what just went on here? Well, what did just go on here? Pretty soon, this is from Yahoo News, pretty soon every newborn American will be the proud owner of their very own Trump account. President Trump's sprawling tax law creates a new tax-advantaged investment account pre-funded with $1,000 for each child born from the beginning of 2025 through the end of 2028. Kids born before this year are eligible for the IRA-style accounts, but not the $1,000 seed money. By the way, something that occurs to me, whomever should follow Donald Trump, do you think they'll end the Trump bonds? Because, I mean, if it's J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or fill in the blank, Ron DeSantis, Republican, I imagine they would continue them. Would a Democrat? It seems to me it's the kind of thing where because it's Trump's idea or his initiative, people are against it because they're against anything Trump does. But do you want to be the Democratic president who now ends the $1,000 giveaway? Think about that. Under the new program, parents will have the option to open Trump accounts for any child under the age of 18 at a bank of their choice. Contributions are capped at $5,000 a year, including up to $2,500 tax-free from a parent's employer. The money grows tax-free until it is withdrawn. And the intent is to provide a nest egg, particularly for those who otherwise wouldn't have one, which is the beef of economist Derek Hamilton at the New School, who said, wait a minute, when I conceived this idea, it was to give a leg up to those who are at the bottom end of the socioeconomic ladder. And now if we're essentially creating another 529 style investment account for the poorest among us, it'll be a one and done contribution, but well-to-do families will make periodic contributions. And when each child gets to be 18, income inequality will be even greater than it is today. And for that reason, he's against it. He wanted there to be, here's his alternative, as expressed in a Washington Post piece. Every child receives $1,000 at birth, but unlike the Trump accounts, Baby bonds wouldn't stop there. Government would continue to receive additional deposits from the government every year, progressively scaled to family income. These funds would grow over time in safe, federally managed investment accounts. And at age 18, young adults could access their accounts to pay for allowable expenses, including home ownership, higher education, or starting a business, the kind of human and financial capital investments that change life trajectories. Building wealth from birth this way is cost-effective, supercharging dollars through years of interest, and also disrupts the cycle of intergenerational poverty. So apparently, a lot of us agreed with that perspective, that this is not the way to go about addressing income inequality, if in fact that's the goal. Today, the Friday poll question at Smerconish.com, the Russia versus Ukraine war. Beginning of the end or end of the beginning? Where are we in this? And I asked the question today because of the about face, it seems, President Trump has taken with regard to Vladimir Putin. Flattering him, coming into office, talking about how he could solve this war in the first 24 hours. Now he says that was tongue in cheek. His overtures have fallen on deaf ears. Russia has become more battlefield aggressive. And it appears like there's no end in sight to any of this. So much so that where Trump had paused weapon deliveries that Biden had agreed to, there hasn't been anything that we've been delivering to them. We've fulfilled some commitments that we made. Maybe I should say it differently. No new commitments, no new arms for Ukraine on this president's watch, and a lot of isolationist tendencies within the Republican Party that are in stark contrast to the GOP that I was once a member of, against the backdrop of the 79 Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. But now that's changing. And Axios has a story that I was just reading. Trump plans to send Ukraine weapons via NATO allies. Why is he doing that? I think he's doing that because he doesn't want to publicly acknowledge the about face. You know, Trump is never about retreating. So now he's going to send weapons to NATO and let them do whatever they want to do with them, but they've all been earmarked for Ukraine. Here's some of the reporting. President Trump is planning to sell weapons to NATO allies with the understanding that they will then provide them to Ukraine. Three sources familiar with the discussions told Axios. This is a major policy shift from Trump as he grows increasingly disillusioned with Russia's Vladimir Putin. He had long rejected the idea of new arms packages for Ukraine, in part to avoid becoming personally embroiled in the conflict. Two administration officials denied the plans meant Trump would now be arming Ukraine. POTUS is sending defensive weapons to NATO. NATO can decide what to do with it. We're not sending weapons to Ukraine. So the president is trying to walk this fine line and not be in a position where people could say, oh, you've changed your view and you've retracted your prior policy. Trump continued to allow some arms shipments, says Axios, to Ukraine that were authorized under President Biden, but had not approved any new packages since taking office. Look, I think it's whether he's going some circuitous route or he's doing it directly. I think it's a good thing that he's had a change of position, because I think he's been played by Putin up until now. Peggy Noonan wrote about this for the Wall Street Journal, and I found her take to be insightful as well. Let me just find the paragraph that I wanted to share with you. It'll be interesting to see how much blowback there is toward Trump from the MAGA crowd, because this is at odds with what he promised them he would do. Peggy Noonan. Vladimir Putin is a monster of history. We used to call him a junior monster here, but no, he's full size. He wants to do what he wants to do and will play a long, cool game to get it. And if the game gets hot, that's fine with him too. Donald Trump has always liked him because he's drawn to powerful men. Trump is dictators, people who can drag their countries around like a robed king in procession, flicking his velvet train. But Trump has been trying to broker peace over Ukraine, and Putin has been jerking him around since January, saying seemingly plausible things that turn out to be just another tactic in a long, cool game. Or as Mr. Trump himself said on Wednesday at his long live cabinet meeting, we get a lot of bullshit thrown at us by Putin, who is very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless of the war. Trump recently told the press, I don't think he's looking to stop, and that's too bad. And that is the biggest question of the day, meaning what is Putin's objective? What's his goal? What is he seeking? My vote on the poll question today, Russia versus Ukraine war, beginning of the end or end of the beginning. I hate to tell you, I am voting. My head says end of the beginning. My heart wishes for beginning of the end. But it's very difficult for me to envision a scenario where Putin suddenly stops. I don't think that he stops unless he gets two things that I would hope would be non-negotiable. Having already had Ukraine surrender its nukes, I think he wants to further demilitarize Ukraine, which is nuts because does anybody think that Ukraine desires to invade Russia? I don't. I don't think Putin's at any risk from an armed Ukraine. All I think those arms do is hopefully deter Putin from doing this again. But secondly, I think he also wants quote unquote democratic reform in Ukraine. I think that he wants Zelensky out. And I think that he wants a way of being able to control or at least play a role in Kyiv. And that would seemingly be a non-negotiable as well. So it's not so much who gets to keep the land that I don't think it's a battle over the map. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's a battle over the map at this point. I think that he's going to keep Crimea and he's going to be able to keep the spoils of war. And instead, the question is, to what extent will Ukraine be armed, and what will a future government in Kyiv look like as it relates to Putin? So, beginning of the end or end of the beginning, I am voting that it is the end of the beginning, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's the beginning of the end, but it's hard for me to see. Sergei Lavrov and Marco Rubio just had a meeting, and when Rubio came out of it, he said that there was a reason for optimism. I guess I should tell you that too. Anyway, thank you for voting. Thank you for always voting. Those of you who are, reliable voters at Smerconish.com, I'm really appreciative. I am just ecstatic at how we've grown the daily voting on the website. It's really cool. And I check in, periodically and see which way it's going and so forth, always striving to have a question that is topical and to frame the question in a way so that there will be a somewhat even divide. It's not always possible. And some days there's just such a hot issue in the press that I put it out there knowing it'll be lopsided. So thank you, those of you who vote regularly on the poll question at Smerconish.com. Why not forward it to a friend? Why not forward it to a friend and say, hey, how would you vote on this, and invite them to do so? Thank you, gang. And to those of you who are watching on YouTube, I really appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and set yourself up for notifications. I am routinely here live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 pre-CNN show on a Saturday morning. It's not always possible for me to honor that schedule, and that's why I ask you to set yourself up for notifications, because I don't want you to be disappointed in finding that you missed something. All right. Have a wonderful day and a great weekend. Go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote.